If you've ever watched a flower grow, which I have, and I don't expect anyone else to sit there and watch a flower grow. Um, but if you've ever watched a flower grow, you'll notice that you can never watch it grow. You can't actually see it grow, right? But it grows beautiful. And there's a color and a scent to a flower, which really nobody knows where it comes from. Well, to me, it looks very clear that it comes from awareness, consciousness. That's what gives it its scent. That's what gives it its color. That's what gives it its fragrance. And it meets life. It meets life outside of the soil. And it meets the bees and the birds and all the rest of it, right? But it doesn't accumulate. It doesn't have that in it to gather memory and then meet the birds the next day and go, yeah, I know these birds. I don't know those birds. And I really like these birds and I don't like those birds. So I'm going to give this bird my fragrance and not that bird my fragrance. It doesn't have that in the design simply because it hasn't developed personality or social image. And it doesn't have that because it doesn't process thought. And human beings have this ability to process thought. Unfortunately, a lot of us have just not been educated on this, how we're processing thought. So we accumulate stuff and then we meet life with what we've accumulated. And all of what you've accumulated is distorted. It's not pure in its essence anymore. And if you're too bound by it, if you're too identified with what you have accumulated, you get into trouble, right? You meet depression, you meet conflict, you don't you have that flattened disconnectedness to you. You're not in harmony with everyone you meet. You like some people, you don't like others. Just like the flower that likes some birds and not the other birds. It's distortion. You know, I lived most of my life that way. Too hung up on my preferences, not knowing that they're my preferences. I thought they were reality. I was obviously innocent in it. But it's a huge discovery to see that the simplicity of that is simply, I have gathered a bunch of thinking, and I think this is how life works. So I'm going to meet life with that. Okay, so if we're doing that, we're missing out on the opportunity of wisdom.